Welcome, everybody. This is the DVMUG Zoom meeting for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. I didn't put news at the top. Okay, well, I only have a couple news items. And then most of these videos is all about the new stuff, iOS 26 mostly. And the first one's from Gary, and the rest of them are really short. Don't panic, there's a lot of them, they're all Apple ones. They're like 1 and 2, 3 minutes or something. So, not long. First news item, not a lot of news. This is a pretty much substantiated rumors that Apple's going to announce stuff this week. I was hoping it would come out before the meeting. Actually, right during Mac break, Jaworski, they call him Jaws, Apple executives, posted on X, formerly Twitter, a 6-second video. I should have got it. Of a V of 2 MacBooks like this, and it says something powerful is coming. Well, what is that? What's a V in Roman numerals? 5. That's the M5 MacBook Pro. It's probably coming tomorrow. And we're not going to have an event. They're probably going to release these like they did last year in like 1 a day press releases or something. And probably the AirPod Pro M5 also. And then maybe some other stuff. Maybe new AirTags, this is a big rumor. And maybe an Apple TV. And I can't remember the other thing that might be. But stuff coming. Definitely there'll be some stuff this week. Starting probably tomorrow. Okay. This is the Macworld article if you want to get the news links in the chat and read a little bit about what they think. HomePod Mini, could be a new HomePod Mini also. Any comments, questions about that? Okay. This popped up today. Apple TV Plus, they're dropping the Plus. How they think this is going to make it less confusing, I don't know. So the Apple TV will be the hardware device and the service both with the same name. So there you go. And the logo is new. It's got like sort of a, I don't know what you call it, little hue going on there, like a liquid glass in the logo. So there's some
sort of a blush.
So it was already Apple TV for the hardware and the service, and then Apple TV Plus for the premium service.
Yeah, well, that's the drop on the Plus. No more Plus.
Wow.
So we'll see. I don't know how it makes it less confusing, but that's the way it is moving forward. Comments, questions? Okay.
We'll all be nonplussed.
And so here's the videos. The first one's from Gary. And then see the rest of them are cut pretty short. One medium-sized one from Apple in the middle about live translation. And the rest of them are all really short. So we'll go for it. Here's the first one from Gary. Moving forward. Go.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let's take a look at some new settings for your iPhone in iOS 26. Now, once you've upgraded your iPhone to iOS 26, there are some new settings you might want to check out. Some of these are in the Settings app. Others are in the specific app or at the specific situation where you would use them. For instance, there's a new option for how the home screen icons look. And you get to that by starting there on the home screen. I'm going to tap and hold on an empty space down here until everything wiggles in edit mode and I can tap Edit at the top left. Then I'm going to choose Customize. Now, like before, we have default and dark modes here for the icons. And there's a tint mode where you can choose a color and have all the icons tinted that color. But now we also have another option, clear. So let's select that. And this is what the icons look like there. And they'll just be clear and you'll see some of your background through the icons. So this probably works best if you're using one of your own photos as a wallpaper. Now that just changes how your iPhone looks, but these next two functions, they really will change how it works and probably help you out. If you go into Settings and then go down to the bottom, you'll find apps. So go into there and then go to the phone app. And there's a new option here for screening calls. You see screen unknown callers. The default is never, so it just is turned off. But you also have the option to silence unknown callers, so you just don't hear them. And you could have done that before. There was an option for silencing unknown callers. But a new option here is to ask for the reason for calling. So you won't hear a ring. Instead, the other person will get an automated message that asks for their name and why they're calling. And once they provided that, then it will ring and show you that information on your screen so you can decide whether or not to answer the call. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support macOS through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmos.com/Patreon. Now, the next new setting I'm going to show you is for Safari, but you don't actually get to it in the Safari app. But notice here, I've got it set so that the address field is at the bottom and all the buttons are down here. Well, as you probably know, you can change that to be at the top. If you go into Settings and then go into Safari under Apps, you've got that option. But what's new now is you have 3 options instead of just 2. So you've got the compact look, which is what I just showed there, but you could also have it be at the bottom. And you could see here now I've got a very different look to things with an entire set of buttons here underneath the address bar, or you could do it at the top. So now you can see the address bar here at the top and the buttons at the bottom. Now in the clock app, you can, just as before, set alarms. But now when you set an alarm, you have a new setting. You can set the snooze duration. I know a lot of people wanted this. It has always been just locked in at 9 minutes, but now you can tap here and you could set it for as little as 1 minute or as much as 15 minutes. In the music app, we've got a new option that a lot of people are already liking a lot. If you're playing a song here, you'll see all the normal options. A new one you'll see is this one right here. It's 2 circles like this. And if you turn it on, you've turned on auto mix. What auto mix does is it fades one song into another, but it does more than just fading. It also attempts to match the beats per minute of each song, kind of like what a DJ would do when going from one song to another. It's really interesting to use with your existing playlists too. It kind of brings new life to them. A new options in settings under battery is the ability to see how long it's going to take to complete the current charge. I, of course, have my phone plugged in and almost fully charged here, but it says that it's going to take 9 minutes to go from this 98% to the 100% now. If you use headphones like AirPods with your iPhone, sometimes when you get to a new location or you connect to something, it will automatically switch the audio to that new device. You could stop that now with a new setting in General under Airplane Connectivity, and you can turn on Keep Audio with Headphones. So it'll come in real handy if you have to use your AirPods while in the car. It won't automatically switch to your car's audio system when you connect to it with CarPlay. When you're browsing the web in Safari, often you'll hit a page where you need to pay for something and you can autofill your credit card information. But now you can control this information in the Wallet app. So when you go to Wallet and then you tap on the 3 dots here at the top, you'll get autofill. Select that and then you'll see your existing cards. Then select one and now you'll see all the autofill information for that card and you can change it if you need to. In settings under accessibility, there are, of course, lots of things for people that need them, but a lot of these features we all use. And one of the really interesting features that's been added recently is the background sounds. And iOS 26 adds a whole bunch of new ones. So you can see here when I select sound, the list now is getting quite long. We've got Babel, Stream, Airplane, Boat, Bus, Train, and a few others. This next setting you'll find in podcast, and it's really kind of hidden. When you're listening to a podcast, you can tap here to change the speed, but there's also now a button for enhanced dialogue. So you turn that on and it's going to kind of filter the sound to boost the voices. And the last one I'm going to show you here is under accessibility and settings as well, and it's under motion. And there's these vehicle motion cues, which already exist, and they put these little dots on the side of the screen. It's supposed to help you use your iPhone if you're in a moving vehicle. But now there's customized appearance, and there are a ton of settings. You can change the color of the dots, the pattern, whether it's regular or dynamic. You can change to larger dots or more dots. So you can customize this to see what works better for you. But also I think changing the colors may help for the dots not to get in the way so much as well. So in addition to all these new settings, there are also a lot of new features in iOS, and I'll be looking at those in videos coming up soon. Thanks for watching.
There you go. Comments, questions?
This morning we tried, we were, I was helping Mary with the problem on her phone, and we had to call Apple Care, and it said there's a very long wait, and we used the new feature so that you could go and do other stuff while you're waiting for the call without having to listen to all that noise that they put on. And it really works beautifully. These new call features are just Jim dandy, I'll tell you.
So did he say that the time to full charge is a setting? Because I don't see it.
I haven't seen that either.
No, it's automatically there.
Okay.
But it doesn't show up when I put it on the charger.
He said it was under the battery in settings.
Oh, okay.
In the battery settings where it showed the graph at the top of how much it was charged, it had a little extra on the uncharged space.
Oh, yeah,
How long
yeah.
it would take to fill that to get that.
Yeah, I see that now. It says 10 minutes to 80% and an hour, 23 minutes to 100%. That's interesting. But it's on the battery page. It's not a setting. So those motion cue dots, does anybody here use that?
I tried them. They were very distracting. I haven't tried them in iOS 26 yet,
What dots?
but they were very distracting before. They didn't help at all.
The motion cue dots that for when you're looking at your phone in a moving vehicle that are supposed to, I guess, help people who have motion sickness.
Yeah.
Is that
That
the idea?
was the goal.
Right.
It just took up a lot of real estate on my phone.
Well, I thought they were just dots on that.
Now they're big circles.
Oh, okay.
They're very annoying. And if you could use the Apple Glass settings, maybe they could become less obvious. I haven't tried it yet.
Are they translucent or big, like assistive touch dots?
He was saying in iOS 26, you can set those features.
The transparency? Okay.
Apparently, that's part of it. If it has to do with the glass look, that's among the things that you can play around with, I would assume.
Okay, anything else about this one? We'll move on. Okay, not hearing anything. We'll move to the next one. There we go. There's a shorty. How to personalize the collections tab in Photos. They keep changing the Photos app on the phone.
View your photos the way you like. Starting in iOS 26, you can personalize the Collections tab in Photos. Here's how. In your Photos library, tap the Collections tab at the bottom of your screen. Next, tap the Layout and Reorder button for options on how you'd like to view your collections. You can tap the Small Grid button to make the thumbnails smaller so you can view more collections at once. Or tap the Large Grid button to make them larger. If you tap Reorder, You can reorder your collections to your preference. Let's move featured photos to the top. Just touch and hold your selection, then drag it to where you want. When you're finished, tap Done. Love this. And that's how to personalize the Collections tab in Photos.
Comments, questions?
Yeah, comment. That collection's too bad it doesn't have a alphabetized selection. Just suggestion.
No, there is no alphabetize. What would they alphabetize on? The name, I mean, the collections don't have names per se, except what Apple gives them.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Pinned, whatever else it was
You
there.
can drag them around to the order
Right.
you like.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. Thank you.
I don't know if it's lazy or spoiled, but okay.
Oh,
And nothing wrong with it being spoiled.
bada bing.
I use I think it's like what numbers or that pages, whatever it does, alphabetize.
Okay, here's another one on the photos, little shorty. How to sort and filter your library. So there you go, how to filter it. And sort, that's what you want to do. You want
Thank
to
you.
sort alphabetically. Okay.
Need to find specific photos and videos in your library? You can sort and filter them to help you find exactly what you want. Here's how in iOS 26 and iPadOS 26. In your Photos library, tap the Sort and Filter button, and then tap Filter. You can choose how you'd like to filter your library, and even select multiple options to help narrow down your search. For example, we'll select Favorites and Not in an Album. Now, it only shows photos and videos that are favorites and also haven't been added to any albums you've created. This makes it much easier to view and organize everything. To remove your filters, tap Filter, then tap Remove Filters. Now your library is back to displaying all your photos. If you want to change the order in which your photos and videos appear, tap the Sort and Filter button and tap Sort by Recently Added. Now your photos are organized in the order they were added to your iPhone, instead of by the date they were captured. Cool. View photos your way.
Well, date'll have to do.
It's not bad. I found that a lot more helpful than, somebody sends me a photo was taken in May. It's tamped May. So when I stick it on my phone, it's in the May department as opposed to the fact I stuck it on my phone yesterday. So yeah, they met you halfway, Sharon. What can I say?
Do you mean that if you create a category May, that it'll collect May of 2026?
I'm sorry, what was
Maybe I misunderstood what you've done. You set up May.
no, what I've done. It's in the past, up front here, I had an iPhone with OS 26. It doesn't anymore. But in the last generation that I'm using, if someone took a photo, say from May of this year, and they sent it to me, and I took a screenshot of it, or however else I got it and stuck it on my phone, it was already timestamped for May. So if I wanted to find it, I had to scroll back on my phone to May to locate it, to stick it in an album, as opposed to the setting where you put the date added to phone. So I knew it was, I did it 2 days ago. It's right there.
I see. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, next one. How to use live translations on the phone. This one's a bit longer, more involved.
Want to translate a message, a call, or a conversation in person? Starting in iOS 26, iPadOS 26, and macOS Tahoe, you can use live translation. Here's how it works on supported iPhone models. Before you start, make sure your iPhone is running iOS 26 and that Apple Intelligence is enabled. We'll show you how to use live translation in messages, during a phone call, on a FaceTime video call, and in person with your AirPods and the Translate app. First, let's use live translation in messages. In a messages conversation, tap your contact at the top of the screen. Scroll down and tap to turn on Automatically Translate. Messages might detect the language used in the conversation and suggest it for translation, or tap Choose Other Language to select one yourself. Tap to choose the language to translate from, and it downloads if it's not already installed. Now tap Back to return to your conversation. Enter your message, and the translation appears as you type. Tap Send, and your contact receives the translation as well as your original message. Messages you receive are translated to your preferred language as well. Now, let's use live translation on a phone call. During an active call in the phone app, tap More and tap Live Translation. If you're not using the speaker or headphones, the call automatically switches to the speaker. If your desired language is not already selected, tap Choose Language. Tap to choose the language to translate from, and it downloads if it's not already installed. Now tap Start Translation, and both parties are alerted that the call is being translated.
La traduction est activée pour cet appel.
As you speak, live translation provides a spoken translation of what you say to the other caller.
Hey, I'm about 20 minutes away. Je suis à environ 20 minutes.
When your friend responds, their words are translated for you.
Fantastique. Bienvenue en France.
Fantastic. Welcome to France.
You can also follow along with an on-screen transcription.
Thank you. Merci.
Next, let's use live translation in FaceTime. During a FaceTime video call, tap More. Tap Live Translation and tap Choose Language. Tap to choose the language to translate from, and it downloads if it's not already installed. Now, tap Start Translation.
Bonjour, c'est génial de te voir.
I have a surprise for you.
Vraiment? Dis-moi.
I'm coming to see you in Paris next month.
Merveilleux, la chambre d'amis sera prête pour toi.
As your friend or family member speaks, translated live captions appear on the screen. You can also use live translation to translate in-person conversations using AirPods and the Translate app. This is available with AirPods Pro 2 or later and AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. Before you start, make sure your AirPods are updated to the latest firmware, which you can check in Settings. You also need to have the Translate app installed on your iPhone.
La prochaine visite guidée commence dans 20 minutes.
In the Translate app, tap Live and tap Set up Live Translation. Then, tap to choose the language to translate from, and it downloads if it's not already installed. Now tap Done and tap Start Translation.
Translating French.
Live translation automatically translates conversations around you, providing an on-screen transcription and a spoken translation in your AirPods.
La prochaine visite guidée commence dans 20 minutes.
The next guided tour starts in 20 minutes.
Communicate across languages wherever you are. Apple Intelligence is available in beta. Some features may not be available in all regions or languages. For feature and language availability and system requirements, see support.apple.com/get-apple-intelligence. Live translation is available in beta in iOS 26, iPadOS 26, and macOS Tahoe. Time to download live translation models may vary based on connectivity. Model download and typing sequences in this video were shortened.
So I noticed that so far it's just Romance languages. I assume we'll get Chinese and Japanese and Arabic later, perhaps.
Anybody try this yet?
Now, I have a question. Do both parties, if it's a live translation on a phone, do they both have to have Apple devices?
Sounds like it.
That's a good question.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't on the AirPods because you only
That's
need
why.
one, right?
The other person doesn't even need any. They're just talking to you.
And I'm thinking if you could connect to somebody via FaceTime, either on an Android or whatever else, as long as they're speaking, it'll translate for you. It may not translate for them, but let's face it, that's their problem. If they've got an Android, they should have a program on there.
I'm thinking that on a phone call, it wouldn't depend on their device because the translation is happening on device on your phone.
Exactly.
So there have been situations where I've been in like a restaurant where I had the paranoid sensation that they might be clowning me in another language, and with these AirPods, you could find out.
I mean, you don't have that impression here?
No, just to be a little more serious
Sorry,
than
Kenji.
that.
Serious. That's not. I'm serious.
I know it is. The thing is that you have a limited amount of languages.
Initially,
So
yeah.
So far.
If they're speaking Mandarin Chinese and you don't have that option to listen to, you're not going to know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the languages are coming. They said that at the main presentation
right
a couple of weeks ago. That it takes a while to build that up, but those are coming.
It looked like there was a button you could press there that said more languages available on top, just on top of those.
Yeah, they're adding them all the time.
There must be other languages available that you can check just by hitting that button.
I'm wondering how much this is RAM and drive space intensive.
Well, the drive, like you said,
probably considerable.
Yeah, if you're going to download the whole language.
That's why the new devices are 256 gigabytes.
The devices don't have the languages necessarily on them, even though they're in the list. Every time they show, if it isn't already on there, then it has to download that language.
And you'll experience delays while it's doing that.
Yeah. This has to be on site. I only wish it was compatible with hearing aids, because those of us who use hearing aids can't use the pods.
You mean there are people out there in this group that don't use hearing aids?
Yeah. One or two, I'll bet.
Sharon raised her hand.
Yeah, thanks. Was there an Apple? I use Google Translate. Is that different from what they're talking? Or I don't know if anybody uses, or Kenji, what you use a translator?
I use Google Translate.
This is Apple. It's
an Google Apple Translate app.
Yeah, right. It's an Apple.
It's not an app. It's built into the system.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, there is an app as well.
Yes, there's an app.
Okay.
on the phone.
And
Because
Google had this. Google had this for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
And there's a
can,
ton of languages.
Yeah, I use
Huh.
Google App too for that very reason. There's already a ton of languages on there. It's just as easy. And
Does it listen to you and speak to you, or how do you do
Right.
the
I've
translation?
used it for people, speaking Spanish to me, and I can see on the screen on my phone and I'd love to get the AirPods to just hear and the translate offhand. But yeah, it works. You do translate, speak, conversation, and you can see it on the screen, or it can talk it to you too.
yeah, it's also good for restaurants when you go into a restaurant and it's literally Greek and you're going,
Yeah, I don't think they have Mandarin yet, though.
you should be able to display it. I'm sorry, to play it to the speakers, right? I mean, if you can see it on the screen, you can go text to speech.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
I would hope.
I don't have any yet.
They
get them.
keep saying simplified Chinese.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's it.
And years ago, I used to know all the nuances of this. I actually tested FrameMaker in all these languages, but where is simplified Chinese versus Mandarin? Because they don't seem to be rushing to do anything in Chinese other than simplified Chinese at this point.
If you pull up the Translate app on your phone and
Okay.
look to the languages, both simplified and traditional are available to download.
Okay.
Okay, they caught
In
up.
addition to Arabic, Dutch, UK English, Hindi, Indonesian, Polish, Portuguese, Brazilian, Thai, Turkish, Ukrainian, and Vietnamese.
So when I go get my nails done, I can listen to
Arabic.
what they're saying.
Hmm.
But Google Translate, if you pull up Google Translate, you're scrolling for a little bit to get all the languages they have. Of course, Chinese, they still have traditional and
Or you could type it.
yeah.
And that's all in addition to the ones that are already on your phone, which is US English, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Spanish, and I downloaded Vietnamese, but yeah.
Okay.
If you hit the three dots in the Translate app, it will and choose languages. It gives you the list, and you can download the ones you don't already have.
Well, this week I've been using my phone up against the TV screen as I'm watching Israeli TV with the Google app.
Oh.
And it's been very handy
Oh.
to just read the translated captions.
Mm.
Very different from the news coverage right now.
Mm.
Well, I'm wondering if you can have that go to the speakers to actually speak to you instead of just reading it on the screen.
So the Apple translation works
It
with
would
a
be
phone
very
call.
confusing.
I don't think that Google Translate couldn't do it with a live phone call, could it?
No.
I'm not familiar.
Because they were
No,
doing it
it
with
cannot.
a live phone call right on the screen, and when it's speaking to you and showing it to you on the screen at the same time. That's why it's called live. Anyway.
Translate that.
On a separate but related topic, it's interesting that after unifying all the version numbers, they refuse to refer to it as macOS 26.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Actually,
That's really dumb.
That is that's Apple's headline from Apple support.
It
A lot of
is.
places you see it, they say macOS 26 Tahoe is what it gets posted as a lot. for me, it's easier to remember the names as you go back. Like I can never remember what version number is Ventura or what version number is Big Sur and Sonoma. The names stick with me rather than the numbers.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question on this. For those of you that used translation, is it literal or is it real translation? In other words, literally saying word for word, which would probably make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, right. Literal for me. Right, like welcome in Spanish. It's not it's very literal, not common.
Google's actually getting better at that.
Okay, here's a medium-sized one from Apple. How to set up an eSIM.
You can use eSIM on your iPhone to connect to a cellular plan from your wireless carrier. We'll show you how to activate your plan using eSIM Quick Transfer while setting up your iPhone using eSIM carrier activation and other methods. We'll also show you how to activate a plan in settings after your iPhone is already set up. eSIM is compatible with iPhone XS, iPhone XS Max, iPhone XR, and later. You need to have a wireless carrier that supports eSIM, and you might need a Wi-Fi connection too. It's also a good idea to update your iPhone to the latest version of iOS. You can transfer your phone number from your previous iPhone to your new one using eSIM Quick Transfer if your carrier supports it. Make sure your previous iPhone is nearby and follow the prompts on your screen to begin setting up your new iPhone. When the Transfer Phone Numbers screen appears, tap the lines you want to transfer. Also, if your previous iPhone has a physical SIM card, you can convert it to an eSIM if your carrier supports it. Then, tap Continue and follow the prompts on your previous iPhone and your new iPhone until cellular setup is complete. When you finish setting up your iPhone, your eSIM will be ready to use. If your carrier assigns you an eSIM when you purchase your plan, it will activate automatically when you set up your iPhone. Follow the prompts on your screen to begin setting up your iPhone. Next, choose a Wi-Fi network. You might be asked to provide additional information during the setup process. Then, wait for your plan to activate. Keep following the prompts until cellular setup is complete. When you have cellular service, an icon in the upper right corner shows your signal strength. Finish setting up your iPhone and you're ready to go. Depending on your carrier, you might have to activate your eSIM using other methods, like scanning a QR code provided by your carrier. Follow the prompts to begin setting up your iPhone. When it's time to activate your eSIM, you can choose Use QR Code and scan the code. Then, just follow the prompts until your eSIM activates. You can install a new plan or set up an additional line in settings after your iPhone is set up. You might get a notification from your carrier to activate your plan, or you can open Settings and tap Cellular. If you're activating an eSIM for the first time, tap Set up Cellular. If you have an existing cellular plan and are adding another line, you can follow the prompts to add an eSIM. Continue following the instructions to activate your eSIM. Depending on your carrier, you might be able to transfer the line if your previous device is nearby, or you might have to scan a QR code. Once you've completed the steps, your eSIM will be active and ready for use. All done. And that's how to activate an eSIM on your iPhone. Requires a carrier that supports eSIM and a wireless service plan. Some features not available in all countries and regions. Some sequences in this video were shortened.
This is very misleading because it makes it sound like you can have two separate cell phone lines on your phone. But when I tried to do that with my carrier, they said it is not possible. I asked Apple and they said it's not possible to have two separate lines simultaneously active on the iPhone. You have to choose one or the other.
But you can switch between them if you have them installed, correct?
Yeah. But
Right.
like if you're on the line and somebody calls on the other line, it won't even ring.
Right.
And they aren't explaining how to switch between them, although
No.
the functionality is there.
Have you done that, Rick? Do you switch in the
No,
settings?
I inquired about it and they said it wasn't able to work, so I didn't add a second line.
I wonder if they've disabled this now.
But Rick, when you went to Europe, you installed an eSIM over there, right?
That's correct.
So then
But
you had two eSIMs installed. How did you switch between them?
It was you had to turn it on and your phone was off.
I don't understand.
And it wasn't for phone calls. It was only for web stuff.
Okay.
Wi-Fi.
So you couldn't make phone calls on the other eSIM, or it was just a data-only plan?
It was a data-only plan.
Okay.
So when you switched to the data-only SIM, then your phone was turned off, so you switched back?
The phone was off. You could do FaceTime.
So if you wanted to make a phone call, you had to restart the phone and activate the phone SIM?
Right. Although I never tried to make a phone call except once when I was in London, and I had briefly canceled my consumer cellular to try T-Mobile because they touted that it would work over there, which it didn't. And I called their tech support, and we worked on it for almost an hour. It never did work right, so I went back to consumer cellular when I got back.
So could you have made phone calls over Wi-Fi?
You had to use WhatsApp.
Okay.
It could not make phone call. It had to be WhatsApp. It was not convenient.
Okay, anything else? Next. Moving on. How to use call screening now? Rick he loves this feature. I don't know.
Oh, it's the best.
Okay, there we go.
I used it today.
Starting in iOS 26, you can use call screening to find out who's calling before you decide to pick up. Here's how. In Settings, tap Apps. Then find the phone app. We're going to use Search. Tap the search field, type Phone, and tap it when it appears. Then scroll down to the Screen Unknown Callers section. If you want to send calls from an unsaved number to voicemail, you can tap Silence. Or to screen an unsaved number for more information, tap Ask Reason for Calling. Now, when you get a call from an unknown number, your iPhone asks the caller for more information. Once the caller shares their name and reason for calling, your iPhone rings and a notification lets you know that the call is being screened. Tap View to read a live transcript as the call continues. The caller is asked to stay on the line after saying who they are and why they're calling. Tap the Type to Reply field, then type a reply to the caller, or tap one of the suggested messages. Let's choose this one that says, Send more information. At any time, slide to answer to pick up the call.
Hey, I'll be right down.
And that's how you know who's calling before you pick up.
I would like it if you could customize what that message is rather than this sort of anonymous computer voice.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
But it would be ideal. I'm with you, Kenji. You know, it's like just like answering your phone. You can customize what they hear.
It's a female voice, and it says something to the effect that we're trying to reach the party that you want. What is your name? And please state your business. And once you do that, it says we'll try to get through. And then after you've hit accept, your phone will ring, and there will be the phone, the call. It's wonderful.
But suppose you want Morgan Freeman's voice.
No,
it's not your voice. It's a canned voice. It's a female voice.
I understand, but I mean, if I can change Siri from English to Australian, male, female in different tones, I'm with Kenji. I think it'd be nice if you could, like Sharon has a male secretary, you know?
It would be nice if my Toyota had wings too, but it doesn't.
Have you checked the options?
no.
I'm thinking you could have got it.
Wait for iOS 28.
Yeah.
Since I've turned it on, I'm getting a lot fewer of these kind of calls. They just don't leave anything anymore.
Yeah, they just hang up.
It's going to put some of these guys out of business.
Then do you block it, Bill?
Don't have to.
Later I go back, I review it, and I've blocked probably 24 numbers since I turned it on.
Okay.
Blocking doesn't help because the numbers aren't real. They call from a different number every time. They make them up. So blocking is a waste of time.
Yeah, they're spoofing numbers.
They don't leave any trace anyway. So you just go. You don't have to do anything. You'll never hear from those people.
That's true.
That's true.
Because they won't leave a message. They won't identify themselves. So that's the way it goes.
Unless you get a repeated call from the same number, then block that. But if there's not a repeat number, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, if it's your ex-husband or ex-wife,
right,
asking for more alimony or something, you block them.
That's cute. Like you haven't blocked your ex's number yet.
Same with text messages and email spam. Unless it's a repeat, you're wasting your time. Delete and move on. Okay. Anything else about call screening? I think we have maybe one more. Yeah, this is the last one. Now, this is a short one about a complicated thing. There's a longer one. There's one that's over 15 minutes from Dan's tutorials, and he's really thorough. This is a really quickie Apple one to introduce you to this feature.
Resize windows, drag items between apps, and organize your workspace easily. Here's how to use windowing in iPadOS 26. In the Multitasking and Gestures section of Settings, tap to turn on Windowed Apps. Then, return to the home screen and open an app. We'll choose Notes. To resize a full-screen app, drag the handle in the bottom right corner of the screen. Once you've resized an app, you can move it freely. Just drag the app window from the top to move it to a new spot on screen. You can even have part of a window off screen. Now, let's open Photos and resize the window. We'll also move it so it's not in front of Notes. To work with apps side by side, you can tile them. First, drag the Photos window by its top, then flick it to the left side of the screen. Now, drag the Notes window by its top and flick it to the right edge to use the two apps side by side. When apps are tiled in this way, drag the divider between them to resize both apps at the same time. And when apps are side by side, it's easy to move content between them. Let's drag a photo from the library to add it to a note. With several apps open in Windows, you can easily rearrange your workspace how you like it. To close, minimize, or rearrange your windows, tap the window controls in the top left corner of any app. Tap Minimize to minimize the app without removing it from the app switcher. To access your other apps and widgets, swipe up to show the home screen. Now, just tap an app or widget to open it. We'll choose Files. Open the app switcher to show all your current windows, and swipe right to access other apps you've recently used. Tap a minimized app like Reminders, and it reopens in the same size and position it was previously. To arrange your apps, touch and hold the window controls. This shows window layouts you can use to place windows in different areas of the screen or to arrange apps side by side. We'll tap Quarters to place an app in each corner. Now you can try out windowing on iPad for yourself.
Very quick thing about something that could get very complicated. I thought this was a very cool feature when they announced it, and I turned it on. And I don't use it that way where I do, I usually read in bed and when I'm watching TV or something. So I was invoking it by mistake all the time and having to close it. And so it's for an iPad Pro, for you're getting work done on a big screen is what it's for. Like they said, the hardware on the iPad Pro was way ahead of the software.
Oh, it's awkward at times for sure.
It's not available on the iPhone, obviously, it wouldn't make any sense.
Right. Well, I have it on my iPad these days, but I've also been using the mouse with the iPad, and it's still sort of half-baked the way they've done it.
It's a touch screen. I mean, if you want to do Windows, the Mac is a windowing system born as a Windows with a mouse. They're trying to make this more and more like a Mac, more useful. Now, they didn't even mention the word menus. You can also get a menu bar at the top of each window where you can pull down, like a Mac, pull down menus where you can discover the things that you don't. Problem with me with touchscreen is like, you can't discover stuff it's all invisible and you got to tap certain places you don't know. With a menu, you pull it down, you get all these options. You can do this, you can do that, and then that does exist in the windowing system on an iPad now.
And they still have a lot of work to do to actually fix all the menus on the iPad in the various apps. It's very primitive and in the early stage.
Yeah, it doesn't have all the stuff a Mac has. It has some basic stuff but it has, copy, paste, cut. It is helpful, especially in the Files app. If you're storing things and syncing from your documents on your Mac to your iPad and using the Files app is greatly improved, much more like a Mac, and has a window. The pull down menus is much more useful to moving things around and managing your files if you do a lot of that stuff. A lot of people probably don't even know that exists. They don't even use the Files app. So you know who you are. You need this, then it's greatly, I can see it being very useful. Comments, questions? Anybody, you tried this and use it? No? It's not on by default. When you install upgrade to iOS iPad 26, it asks you if you want to turn it on. If not, you have to go in the menu and turn it on. It'll remain. You say no, it remains in single user mode, just single window full screen like what you're used to, and you'll never see it. I think that's the last video. True? Yeah, that's true. Comments, questions about anything we looked at, or we move on to general Q&A? Hearing none, we'll say DVMUG members who are watching this on YouTube, if you want to see the next session of Q&A, that will be available with a link on the BBS, and we'll start a new recording. So I will quit this, stop the screen share, Stop the screen share.